In today's quiz, I'll be asking 10 questions on Henry VIII. After each question, I'll allow just a few seconds for thinking time before I give the answer. If you need more time, please feel free to pause the video. The answer will be accompanied with a brief explanation. Keep a pen and paper handy to make life easier for you. Question 1. Where was Henry VIII born? Was it A. Richmond Palace, B. Greenwich Palace, or C. Hampton Court Palace, or D. Pembroke Palace? The answer is B. Greenwich Palace. Like his daughters, Mary and Elizabeth, Henry was born at Greenwich in the summer of 1491. Question 2. Who was the mother of Henry VIII? Was it A. Margaret Beaufort, B. Elizabeth Woodville, C. Anne Neville, D. Elizabeth of York? The answer is D. Elizabeth of York. Elizabeth was a daughter of Edward IV, and Henry shared common interests with his maternal grandfather, namely food and women. Question 3. Henry's sister Margaret married which of these men? Was it A. King James IV of Scotland, B. the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, C. King Francis I of France, or D. Thomas Cromwell? The answer is A. James IV of Scotland. Margaret was Queen of Scotland for a decade until her husband's death in 1513 at the Battle of Flodden, as he attempted to invade the north of England with Margaret's brother Henry on campaign in France. Margaret married twice more following James's death. Question 4. True or false? Henry's grandmother, Margaret Beaufort, attended his coronation in June 1509. The answer is true. Margaret, who had done so much to put her son and Henry's father, Henry VII, on the throne, died a matter of days after the funeral. She allegedly had fallen ill after eating a cygnet, a young swan, and succumbed 5 days after the coronation, and the day after Henry had turned 18. Question 5. Which of these men was not executed by Henry VIII? Was it A. Thomas Culpeper, B. Thomas Cromwell, C. Thomas Wolsey, or D. Thomas More? The answer is C. Thomas Wolsey. Whilst Wolsey wasn't technically executed, in reality, he only died before Henry got the chance to give him the chop, having disappointed the king in his search for a divorce from Catherine of Aragon. If you hadn't gathered, it was not a good idea to be a man named Thomas in the reign of Henry VIII. Question 6. What especially nasty execution did Henry VIII cook up for a man named Richard Roos? Was it A. He had Richard half burned and then beheaded, B. He was buried alive, C. He was sawn in half, or D. He was boiled alive? The answer is D. Richard was boiled alive. If you excuse the crude hint in this question, Richard was accused of poisoning members of the household of John Fisher, the Bishop of Rochester, and he was quite hideously boiled alive at Smithfield, with Henry personally ensuring that Richard got a particularly horrible end. Fisher was also put to death a few years later for his opposition to Henry in his efforts for a divorce. Question 7. Who was the mother of Henry's illegitimate son, Henry Fitzroy? Was it A. Bessie Blount, B. Rosamond Clifford, C. Alice Perez, or D. Jane Poppincourt? The answer is A. Bessie Blount. Bessie, or Elizabeth, gave birth to Henry Fitzroy in 1519, and Henry lived to be just 17, dying in 1536, in what was a turbulent year for his father. Question 8. What did Henry do when he heard of Catherine of Aragon's death in 1536? Was it A. He danced with Anne Boleyn, B. He went hunting, C. He did absolutely nothing, or D. He played tennis? The answer is A. Initially, at least, Henry was in jovial mood, and he clad himself in bright yellow, and, accompanied by Anne and their little daughter Elizabeth, they celebrated Catherine's death by dancing. Allegedly, Henry did later show some outward signs of grief, but it wouldn't be long before trouble befell the king as he suffered a bad accident, and Anne miscarried what would have been a son soon after. Question 9. Who was Henry's final wife? Was it A. Catherine Howard, B. Catherine Parr, C. Anne of Cleves, or D. Jane Seymour? The answer is B. Catherine Parr. This may seem an easy question, but it's always worth testing your knowledge on the order of Henry's wives. Catherine herself married 4 times, Henry being her 3rd husband. Question 10. Henry VIII is buried where? Is it A. Windsor Castle, B. Westminster Abbey, C. Canterbury Cathedral, or D. St Paul's Cathedral? The answer is A. Windsor Castle. Henry is buried in St George's Chapel, Windsor, alongside Jane Seymour, the wife who gave the king his much cherished son, the short-lived Edward VI.